Hey there, good morning. I am John. Today is Monday, March 20th, 2023. Welcome back to the tug of war match that is my daily vlog of turning content creation into a full-time job. Each day I stand here at the beginning of my day and talk about kind of what happened yesterday, what's going on today, and kind of where I'm at, ever since I was laid off from my long-time job. And it's just like 2 weeks ago, another busy weekend for all the right reasons. So let's rewind then to not yesterday, of course, but Friday. So Friday, I called a bit of an audible. I planned on working on another video, but a friend sent in a news article, 2 sentences from an Atari press release about Atari acquiring the rights to some old video games from this other company. And the mystery part of it, I mean, that in and of itself was interesting and worthy of a video, which I did, an editorial. But the juicy part was that there were 10 more. They acquired 10 games and only announced 2. So I did an editorial saying, here's the news article. I don't want to just regurgitate news and say, here I'm reading what is going on in this news. I don't think that's interesting. So I said what was in the press release, but then I talked about what I think it means, what Atari might be wanting to do with these new acquisitions, things like that. An editorial. 7-8 minutes, done. And then we recorded the podcast on Friday afternoon, and I thought everything was great. Until about 10 or 11 o'clock at night when suddenly the other 10 games were announced. So I had said in my editorial, hey, if there's an update, I'll post an update. And this just felt like I shouldn't wait till Monday. The editorial I did was already doing pretty well. So I said, again to my wife, hey, I'm working Saturday again. I didn't knock out a video. Really, it was just kind of a little more than a half day probably. But I did knock out an update showing, again, I didn't want to just read the news. I said, I know what they all are. And here's video of all 12 of them. So you can kind of see. And so, did that do well? Well, I think so. Over the weekend, we gained 20,000 views across those 2 videos. We gained 200 subscribers, putting us now at 21,300 and some odd. And it was, those videos together just did amazing. It was one of those things where it was back to like two bumps ago where I didn't have anything in my hands to review or show or talk about. Instead, it was hey, let's just talk about this thing in the news and put my thoughts. And that garnered huge results, which you'll remember last week I was kind of like, oh, we're on the downside of that really huge, bump, and we're crashing now. And that was a huge upswing again over the weekend. Doing great. Those videos continue to do well. So it's a great mood to be in on a Monday after coming off of a weekend like that of watching numbers just roll in and stats just roll. It's fantastic. So thanks first to my friend Marcus who sent in the news tip, said, hey, would you be interested in this? And then thanks for my wife and family who tolerated me working again on Saturday. No, we did end up going out to lunch and stuff on Saturday, so we didn't wreck it. We still had a good day. Visited old thrift store, and it was a nice day. I was having fun. My experiment, my content creation experiment was doing really well, and plus, had a decent weekend too. So coming off of that, it's just, I don't have any huge plans for this week. Things just keep kind of falling in my lap that the things I have to recognize that they're in my lap, that I have something interesting to say about them. I've certainly had people throw me news items before, and I'm like, that's interesting, but I really don't have anything to say about it. There's nothing to add. It's kind of flat. This had that little air of mystery to it, like here are 2 out of the other 10 because there are 12, that kind of thing. I think that really helped. And because I jumped on it right away the morning after, that video in 24 hours did over 6,000 views. That might be a record over time for maybe a second place or so. 6,000 views is not unheard of, but weeks later, right? So this one just took off right away. So great stuff. Let's get on to today. Today is getting, I got a little bit of a late start this morning. I was just beat after last night. Just had a long night. But I'm up now, getting after it. I need to just start the day cooking. I have to work on some short form videos to go out on social, etc. Chopping up some of the podcasts, which I haven't done yet, so I'll get a couple of those done. I have a project for a potential future customer client. I need to work on some today, probably do some writing and research on that, and begin planning for the next long form video. And then finally, I'll start prepping for editing the podcast for Thursday, which we will edit in total, as you know, tomorrow morning on Twitch at 10 a.m. Just an overall great weekend. I hate in part that my emotions are again kind of controlled by the stats on YouTube, but I don't mind that so much when they're up, as you might imagine. So then it's like free endorphins, like, yeah, sure, doing well. Yeah, I love it. It's a great feeling. I think that will get us going for today. It's funny, I just saw, just browsing this morning, I saw a video from somebody that says, "Is vlogging dead on YouTube?" And I mean, I guess I haven't watched the video yet, but it's just like you see a headline, you think about it, and clearly not. It's not dead on YouTube. They're asking, as a trend, as a whatever. I guess it depends what you want out of it. What I want out of this vlog is what I'm getting out of it now, which is motivation to get me going in the morning, a place to get my kind of thoughts out of my head, and get feedback from close and trusted friends and people out there that are watching that give a damn, that have the insight and interest. So, so I think it's time to get after Monday. So I want to thank you for stopping by and checking out the vlog today. If you're here every day, you know who you are. I love you for being here. Thanks for that. Have a great Monday. Do something good for yourself today if you can, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.